It's easy to feel lost in today's world. We're surrounded by noise, whether it's the never-ending flow of information or the pressure to constantly keep up with the fast pace of life. It's no surprise that many of us struggle to maintain clarity and focus. The question is, how do we stop feeling lost? How do we regain control over our minds? In today's fast-paced world, it's incredibly easy to feel lost. The constant noise of daily life, the overwhelming amount of information, and the pressure to keep up with an ever-changing world can leave anyone feeling scattered and unfocused. Whether it's the demands of work, family responsibilities, social media, or simply the chaos of modern life, it often feels like there's no room to breathe or think clearly. This feeling of being lost can make us feel disconnected from ourselves, from our goals, and from the world around us. But what if I told you that feeling lost is not a permanent state? What if I told you that you have the power to regain control over your mind, to clear the fog, and to find your direction once again? The first step in stopping this feeling of being lost is realizing that mental clarity and focus are skills that can be developed. They aren't things that we are simply born with, nor are they qualities reserved for a select few. Clarity of mind is something that everyone has the potential to achieve, regardless of their starting point. Think of your mind as a tool that, when honed and sharpened, can help you accomplish incredible things. However, like any tool, it needs to be maintained, cared for, and used in the right way to function at its best. We often hear the term mental clarity, but what does it really mean? At its core, mental clarity is the ability to see things as they truly are, without distortion or bias. It's about having a clear sense of purpose, direction, and focus. It means being able to make decisions without the cloud of stress or anxiety that often clouds our judgment. In a world that is increasingly noisy and distracting, achieving mental clarity requires conscious effort, but it's absolutely achievable. The mind is a powerful force capable of shaping our entire experience. Every action you take, every goal you pursue, and every relationship you build begins with a thought. Thoughts are the foundation upon which your life is built. If those thoughts are disorganized, chaotic, or negative, your life will reflect that. But if you take control of your mind and direct your thoughts in a focused and purposeful way, you can shape your reality. The challenge is that we don't always have control over what thoughts enter our minds. We are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, emails, messages, news, advertisements, and social media, all competing for our attention. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of information, which can leave us feeling overwhelmed and unable to focus on what truly matters. Often we react to situations without thinking, letting our emotions drive our actions. This reactive state is one of the primary reasons why so many people feel lost. It's hard to feel grounded or purposeful when we are constantly reacting to the world around us. But here's the good news: you don't have to let external forces dictate how you think or feel. The key to stopping this cycle is recognizing that you have the ability to control your mind. It might not always be easy, and it certainly takes practice, but the mind is incredibly malleable. Just like any skill, it can be improved over time. The more effort you put into consciously directing your thoughts, the more in control you become of your mental state. This is where the idea of mind control comes into play, not in the sense of controlling others, but in the sense of controlling your own thoughts and emotions. When you take charge of your mind, you create space for clarity, focus, and calm. Instead of being swept away by the constant stream of distractions, you can choose where to place your attention and energy. You can decide which thoughts are worth nurturing and which ones need to be let go. Achieving mental clarity also involves understanding that not all thoughts are valuable or true. Many of us carry around beliefs and assumptions that have been formed over years, and some of these may no longer serve us. These beliefs can shape how we perceive the world and ourselves. For instance, if you've grown up believing that success requires constant hustle, you might feel lost when you encounter a challenge. But this belief is a thought, and like any thought, it can be changed. The key to regaining control over your mind is to start questioning the thoughts that arise in your head. Are they really true? Do they serve you? Do they help you move forward in life? Or do they keep you stuck in a cycle of negativity and doubt? By consciously examining your thoughts and replacing unhelpful ones with more empowering beliefs, you can begin to shift your mental state and move from a place of feeling lost to one of focus and purpose. The feeling of being lost is a result of mental disorganization, lack of direction, and inability to focus. But the mind is incredibly powerful, and with the right tools and mindset, you can regain control. Once you begin to create mental space, focus your thoughts, and direct your attention to what truly matters, you'll find that the fog of confusion starts to clear. You'll start to feel more in control, more purposeful, and more grounded in your daily life. The key is to remember that clarity and focus are not just things you have to hope for, they are things you can actively work toward every day. The power of thought is one of the most profound concepts we can understand in our lives. Thoughts are not mere fleeting ideas that pass through our minds. They are the driving force behind everything we do. Our thoughts shape how we perceive the world, how we interact with others, and ultimately the actions we take. If we understand this power, we can learn to harness it and use it to our advantage. If we don't, we can easily fall into the trap of living reactively, letting our thoughts run wild without direction or purpose. At the core of this understanding is the realization that thoughts are not always accurate reflections of reality. The mind often generates thoughts based on past experiences, emotions, fears, or societal conditioning. These thoughts may not reflect the true nature of the world around us, but are instead influenced by how we have been taught to view it. For example, if you've had negative experiences with failure in the past, your mind might automatically generate thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed" whenever you encounter a new challenge. But these thoughts are not universal truths. They are distortions based on past experiences and perceptions. This is one of the reasons why people often feel lost. Our thoughts can pull us in so many directions that it becomes difficult to know what is real and what is just a projection of our fears, insecurities, or past experiences. We can become so entrenched in negative thought patterns that they begin to define our reality, even though they are not an accurate reflection of who we are or what we are capable of achieving. The first step to regaining control is recognizing that your thoughts are not necessarily facts. This is where awareness comes in. Being able to step back and observe your thoughts without judgment allows you to create distance from them. You begin to realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the one observing them. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. It means that just because a thought enters your mind, it doesn't have to dictate your actions. You have the ability to choose whether or not to accept it, to let it define your reality, or to challenge it. Once you accept that your thoughts are not always accurate reflections of reality, you can start to take control of them. Instead of reacting automatically to every negative thought that arises, you can begin to question its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought based on fact or fear? Is it helpful, or is it holding me back? This process of questioning allows you to create new thought patterns that are more aligned with your true goals, desires, and values. And over time, these new patterns become more ingrained, and you start to see the world through a clearer, more focused lens. A key part of mastering the power of thought is understanding how your thoughts influence your actions. Every decision you make, every goal you set, and every action you take begins with a thought. If your thoughts are focused on negative outcomes, fear, or uncertainty, your actions will reflect that. You might procrastinate, avoid risks, or give up easily when faced with challenges. On the other hand, if your thoughts are focused on solutions, growth, and possibility, your actions will reflect a mindset of determination and resilience. But when facing a challenging project at work, someone who is focused on negative thoughts may approach it with doubt. This is too difficult. I won't be able to handle it. This mindset might lead to procrastination or a lack of effort. But someone who has trained their mind to focus on positive thoughts might approach the same project with confidence. This is a challenge, but I'm capable of figuring it out. I'll break it down into manageable steps. The difference in these thought patterns can lead to drastically different outcomes. This is why controlling your thoughts is so crucial. If you want to change your life, you need to change your thought patterns. And changing your thoughts is not about suppressing or ignoring them, but about actively choosing which ones to focus on. It's about redirecting your attention to thoughts that are empowering, positive, and aligned with your true goals. Over time, this practice will shift your behavior, your decision-making, and your results. Another important point to understand is that controlling your thoughts doesn't mean suppressing negative emotions or pretending that challenges don't exist. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it's natural to feel frustrated, sad, or anxious from time to time. What controlling your thoughts means is not allowing these emotions or negative thoughts to control you. It means acknowledging them, but not letting them define your actions. It's about recognizing that emotions are temporary and that you have the ability to choose how to respond. This ability to control your thoughts is a skill that requires consistent practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but with time you can train your mind to be more focused, more positive, and more aligned with your long-term goals. The more you practice observing your thoughts without judgment, questioning their validity, and redirecting them toward positive, empowering ideas, the more in control you will feel. And when you regain control over your thoughts, you begin to regain control over your life. The power of thought is not just a philosophical idea, it's a practical tool that can shape every aspect of your life. By recognizing that your thoughts are not always true reflections of reality, questioning them, and redirecting them toward more positive and empowering ideas, you can transform your mental landscape. This process will lead to greater clarity, focus, and confidence as you begin to take control of the most important tool you have, your mind. Understanding the science of the mind is a powerful step toward regaining control over it. The human brain, once thought to be a relatively static organ, is actually an incredibly dynamic and adaptable system. This concept, known as neuroplasticity, suggests that our brains have the capacity to reorganize themselves by forming new neural connections throughout our lives. This means that even as we age, we have the ability to learn, grow, and change our thought patterns. It's a fundamental shift in how we view the brain, and it holds the key to overcoming the feeling of being lost. For many years, it was believed that the brain structure and function were largely fixed after a certain age, but neuroplasticity has shown that this is not the case. In fact, the brain is constantly rewiring itself in response to the experiences, behaviors, and thoughts we engage in. Every time we learn something new, engage in a new activity, or even change our habits, our brain forms new neural pathways to accommodate these changes. This rewiring is not just limited to simple learning tasks, but can extend to deep changes in thought patterns, emotional responses, and overall cognitive functioning. One of the most significant implications of neuroplasticity is that it offers hope for those who feel trapped in negative thought cycles or unproductive habits. If your mind feels stuck, if your thoughts often seem chaotic or negative, or if you've been struggling with the same issues for years, know that your brain is capable of change. You are not doomed to repeat the same patterns forever. Just like you can train your body through exercise, you can train your mind through focused mental practices. The more you engage in practices that promote mental clarity and positivity, the more your brain rewires itself to support these new ways of thinking. The process of reprogramming your mind through neuroplasticity is not instant. It takes time, repetition, and consistent effort. For instance, if you spent years thinking negatively about yourself or your abilities, it won't be enough to just think positive thoughts once or twice and expect immediate results. The brain needs to be conditioned to think differently, and that takes time. However, the good news is that with continued practice, those new neural connections become stronger and more ingrained, and the old limiting patterns begin to fade away. The first step in reprogramming your mind is to consciously direct your thoughts toward positive, constructive ideas. Whether it's affirmations, goal setting, or simply focusing on solutions rather than problems, the key is to create a consistent, intentional mental practice. You might start with small changes, like taking a moment each morning to visualize your goals or consciously focusing on the present moment rather than dwelling on the past. These small practices, when done regularly, begin to build new neural pathways that support a more focused, positive, and productive mindset. It's also important to recognize that your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mind. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the spaces you inhabit all contribute to the wiring of your brain. If your environment is chaotic or filled with negativity, your brain will naturally mirror that. On the other hand, if you create an environment that encourages focus, positivity, and growth, your brain will begin to adapt to these new conditions. This is why it's so important to actively curate your environment, whether it's setting up a clutter-free workspace, surrounding yourself with people who inspire and motivate you, or limiting exposure to negative news or social media. Your environment should support the mental changes you're trying to make. Another key aspect of understanding the science of the mind is recognizing the importance of habits in shaping our brain's function. The brain thrives on routine, and the more habitual a thought or behavior becomes, the stronger the neural pathways associated with it. This is why habits, both good and bad, become so ingrained over time. If you've developed a habit of negative thinking, your brain has formed neural connections around that pattern. But the same principle applies to positive habits. If you consistently engage in practices that promote mental clarity, focus, and positivity, those neural pathways will strengthen and your brain will begin to naturally gravitate toward these more productive ways of thinking. Practicing mindfulness and meditation can be particularly effective in reprogramming the mind. These practices have been shown to enhance neuroplasticity by strengthening areas of the brain associated with attention, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. When you meditate or practice mindfulness, you are essentially exercising your brain, helping it to become more resilient, focused, and adaptable. Over time, this can lead to lasting changes in the way your mind operates. Rather than being reactive or overwhelmed by external circumstances, you become more centered and able to respond with clarity and purpose. Understanding the science of neuroplasticity also empowers us to confront the challenges that come with the process of mental change. It's easy to become discouraged if progress feels slow or if setbacks occur. But it's essential to remember that the brain is capable of growth at any age, and the process of rewiring your thoughts is a journey that requires patience and persistence. The more you practice, the more you will see the fruits of your efforts. The science of the mind and the concept of neuroplasticity offer us a powerful tool for overcoming the feeling of being lost. Your brain is not fixed or immutable. It is a dynamic, ever-changing organ that can be shaped by your thoughts, actions, and environment. By consciously directing your mental energy, surrounding yourself with a supportive environment, and practicing habits that foster clarity and focus, you can rewire your brain to support your goals and help you regain control over your life. The power to change your mind, and by extension, your life, is always within your grasp. Regaining control over your mind doesn't have to be a complex or overwhelming task. In fact, there are several practical steps that you can take right now to begin shifting your mental state and reclaiming the clarity and focus you may feel you've lost. These steps, though simple in nature, require discipline, consistency, and a willingness to invest in yourself. They are the building blocks for creating the mental framework that will serve you throughout your life. By focusing on actionable strategies, you can actively steer your thoughts in a direction that leads to greater mental strength, emotional balance, and ultimately personal success. One of the first steps to regain control is to create mental space. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by information and distractions, many of which contribute to the overwhelming sense of being lost or unfocused. Whether it's notifications from social media, the relentless pace of emails, or the never-ending demands of work and family life, these distractions clutter our minds and make it difficult to concentrate on what really matters. Creating mental space means setting boundaries and finding ways to disengage from these distractions. It might mean setting specific times during the day to check emails or social media, and using the rest of your time for deep, focused work or self-reflection. To create this space, it's also important to practice mindfulness or meditation. These practices can help clear the mental fog and center your attention. Mindfulness encourages you to focus on the present moment, allowing you to disengage from thoughts about the past or future that may be causing stress or confusion. Meditation, on the other hand, provides a structured way to quiet the mind and bring awareness to your thoughts without judgment. Through regular practice, both mindfulness and meditation help to build the mental discipline necessary to stay focused and present, ultimately leading to improved clarity and mental control. Another critical step in regaining control of your mind is to develop a daily routine that supports your mental health and well-being. Routines might seem boring or rigid to some, but they are essential for creating structure and stability in our lives. When we feel lost, it's often because we lack a clear sense of direction or purpose. A well-defined daily routine helps you set priorities and tackle tasks in a systematic way. It can give you the mental framework to tackle even the most overwhelming days without feeling lost or scattered. The key is consistency. A routine doesn't need to be elaborate, but it should include habits that promote focus, productivity, and relaxation. Start with small but powerful actions. For example, set aside time every morning for physical exercise or stretching to energize your body and mind. Follow that with a brief moment of meditation or journaling to ground yourself for the day ahead. Organize your work tasks and set clear, manageable goals for each part of the day. Consistently implementing these small actions will help bring order to your mind and provide a sense of accomplishment as you tick off each item on your list. In addition to your daily routine, goal setting is an essential part of regaining mental control. Without clear goals, it's easy to feel aimless and lost, but having specific, measurable objectives can provide direction and purpose. Setting goals doesn't just give you something to strive for, it also trains your mind to focus on what truly matters instead of being swept away by distractions or self-doubt. When setting goals, break them down into manageable tasks that are actionable. Rather than simply saying, I want to be successful, set specific, tangible goals like I will complete a project by the end of the week, or I will spend 30 minutes each day working on my personal development. Each time you accomplish one of these tasks, you'll build confidence and reinforce your ability to focus. Over time, this creates a powerful cycle of productivity that strengthens your mental resilience. Another important aspect of regaining control is learning how to manage your environment. We often underestimate how much our surroundings impact our mental state. The spaces we inhabit, the people we interact with, and the media we consume all shape the way we think and feel. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, negativity, or chaos, it will be much harder to regain control over your mind. This is why it's important to create an environment that supports your mental focus. Start by optimizing your physical space. If you work in an area cluttered with unnecessary items, it can create mental clutter as well. Clear your workspace of distractions and set up an environment that encourages focus. This could mean organizing your desk, removing any unnecessary gadgets or papers, and making sure your workspace is comfortable. Similarly, ensure that your home environment is calming and conducive to relaxation when you're not working. A clutter-free environment promotes a clearer mind and allows you to focus on what's truly important. Beyond the physical environment, think about the people you spend time with. The people you surround yourself with have a significant impact on your mindset. Negative, toxic, or unmotivating individuals can drain your energy and leave you feeling defeated. Conversely, positive, inspiring, and supportive people can uplift your spirit and encourage growth. Take a close look at the relationships in your life and assess whether they are contributing to your sense of mental control or hindering it. Surround yourself with those who help you focus, motivate you, and support your personal growth. It's important to recognize that technology, while an essential tool in modern life, can also be a major source of distraction. Social media, constant notifications, and digital overload can pull your attention away from what really matters and make it difficult to focus. Learning how to use technology consciously and intentionally is key to regaining control over your mind. Set boundaries with technology by limiting screen time or using tools that help you stay on task. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media or checking email constantly, create specific time blocks in your day when you engage with technology and stick to them. Regaining control over your mind requires conscious effort, consistency, and discipline. By creating mental space, establishing a daily routine, setting clear goals, managing your environment, and using technology purposefully, you can gradually shift your mental state from one of feeling lost to one of clarity and focus. These steps are not a one-time fix. They are habits and practices that, when implemented consistently, will help you regain control of your mind and move forward with purpose. One of the most important aspects of regaining control over your mind is the ability to shift your focus from negative thoughts to positive, empowering ones. This isn't simply about thinking happy thoughts or ignoring the challenges you may face. It's about consciously choosing how you respond to situations, how you perceive yourself, and how you shape your narrative. Our thoughts are incredibly powerful, and if we allow them to remain negative, self-defeating, or reactive, they can hold us back from reaching our full potential. By training our minds to focus on the positive, we can begin to unlock a new level of mental clarity and control. The first step in shifting your focus is to recognize when negative or unproductive thoughts arise. The mind is often full of chatter, with many thoughts circulating at any given moment. These thoughts can be automatic, stemming from past experiences, fears, or insecurities, and they can have a significant impact on our emotional and mental state. For instance, when faced with a challenge, it's easy to think, "I'll never be able to do this," or "this is too hard for me." These thoughts immediately create a sense of defeat and can discourage you from even trying. However, the moment you recognize these thoughts, you gain the power to change them. Awareness is the first step in transforming negative thinking patterns. Once you're aware of the negative thoughts, the next step is to consciously challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts, or is it based on fear or past experiences? What is the evidence supporting this belief? More often than not, you'll find that these thoughts are not based on reality, but are merely distorted perceptions that don't serve your growth. By asking these questions, you can create a mental space where you can analyze your thoughts objectively rather than reacting to them impulsively. This shift from reacting to reflecting is a key part of regaining control over your mind. After identifying and challenging negative thoughts, the next step is to replace them with positive, affirming ones. Instead of dwelling on the idea that a task is too difficult, replace it with a thought like, "This may be challenging, but I am capable of overcoming obstacles." Or, "I will take it one step at a time, and I will learn as I go." Reframing your thoughts like this does not mean ignoring the difficulties at hand. Rather, it allows you to approach them with a sense of empowerment and agency. The more you practice this reframing, the more natural it will become to focus on solutions instead of problems. It's also crucial to practice gratitude as a way of shifting your mental focus. Gratitude is a powerful tool that shifts your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you direct your mind away from the negatives and refocus it on the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude helps you appreciate the present moment and cultivates a mindset that recognizes opportunities, growth, and progress rather than deficiencies or shortcomings. The simple act of regularly acknowledging the things you are grateful for, whether big or small, can gradually rewire your brain to focus on the positive, shifting your overall outlook on life. Another effective way to shift your focus is through visualization. This technique involves imagining a positive outcome or envisioning yourself achieving a goal. Visualization taps into the power of the subconscious mind, reinforcing the idea that you are capable and deserving of success. When you visualize yourself succeeding, whether it's completing a project, overcoming a challenge, or reaching a personal milestone, you create a mental blueprint that guides your actions. Visualization helps your brain to align with the reality you want to create, and over time, it can motivate you to take the necessary steps toward achieving those goals. In addition to visualization, affirmations are another powerful tool for shifting focus. Positive affirmations are short, positive statements that you repeat to yourself to reinforce a healthy mindset. These affirmations could include phrases like, I am capable of achieving my goals, or I am in control of my thoughts and actions. Repeating these affirmations daily helps to retrain your mind, replacing the old negative thought patterns with positive ones that support your growth. Over time, affirmations strengthen your belief in your abilities and increase your confidence, making it easier to face challenges with a positive mindset. It's important to note that shifting your focus doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties you face. Life is full of challenges, and part of regaining control over your mind is learning to face these challenges with resilience and perspective. Instead of becoming consumed by a problem, focus on what you can control. Break down the issue into manageable steps and address it piece by piece. Focus on solutions rather than dwelling on the problem itself. This approach helps to alleviate stress and creates a sense of accomplishment as you move forward. Maintaining a positive focus doesn't mean you need to be relentlessly optimistic or deny your emotions. It's natural to feel frustration, disappointment, or sadness, but it's about not allowing those emotions to dictate your behavior or overwhelm your mental state. Acknowledging negative emotions and allowing them to pass through without attaching to them is an important part of maintaining a positive focus. It's about acceptance, acknowledging the challenge, but choosing to respond in a way that supports your well-being and personal growth. Another key aspect of shifting your focus is taking care of your body. Physical health plays a significant role in mental clarity and emotional well-being. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and proper nutrition all contribute to a more positive and focused mindset. When you take care of your body, you create the physical foundation for mental resilience. Exercise in particular has been shown to release endorphins, which boost mood and help reduce stress. Additionally, sleep is crucial for cognitive function and emotional regulation. Without sufficient rest, it becomes much harder to maintain a positive mental state. Shifting your focus from negative to positive thoughts is a powerful way to regain control over your mind. By being aware of your thoughts, challenging negative beliefs, and replacing them with empowering thoughts, you can begin to reshape your mental landscape. Practices like gratitude, visualization, and affirmations further reinforce a positive mindset, helping you stay focused on solutions and growth. And by taking care of your physical health, you create a foundation that supports mental clarity and resilience. Over time, these practices become ingrained habits, and your mind naturally gravitates toward positive, productive thinking, empowering you to navigate life's challenges with strength and purpose. Understanding that life is a series of moments that we can choose to shape is a crucial insight in regaining control over your mind. This perspective allows you to realize that even in the face of challenges or difficulties, you always have the power to choose how to respond. Our reactions to external events are often automatic, based on habits, previous experiences, and emotions. However, when you consciously recognize that you have the ability to choose your response in any situation, you start to break free from the autopilot mode that often governs our thoughts and actions. This awareness empowers you to take control of your mental state and guide your own experience rather than letting circumstances dictate your mood or direction. One of the most important aspects of choosing your response is recognizing that you can change the way you interpret the events around you. Often we react negatively to situations because we immediately judge them as obstacles or setbacks. But if you shift your perspective and view challenges as opportunities for growth, your entire approach to life changes. For example, if you face a setback at work or encounter a difficult personal situation, rather than falling into frustration or despair, you can choose to see the experience as a learning opportunity. This mindset transforms the way you process the event, turning it from a negative experience into a stepping stone for growth. Instead of feeling lost or out of control, you begin to feel empowered and in charge of your destiny. A powerful tool in consciously choosing your responses is practicing emotional regulation. Emotions are natural reactions to stimuli, but they don't have to control your behavior. Often our emotional reactions are immediate and instinctive, but with practice we can train ourselves to pause before reacting. This pause gives us the space to reflect on our emotions and make a choice about how to respond. For instance, if you feel anger rising in a stressful situation, rather than reacting impulsively with frustration or harsh words, you can take a deep breath, acknowledge. The process of emotional regulation allows you to maintain control over your mental state, even in difficult circumstances. An important aspect of emotional regulation is understanding the relationship between your thoughts and emotions. Negative emotions often arise from negative thought patterns such as worry, fear, or self-doubt. By changing the thoughts that lead to negative emotions, you can prevent the emotional spiral that can leave you feeling overwhelmed and out of control. This is why mental practices like mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and meditation are so powerful. They help you recognize and change the thought patterns that fuel negative emotions. Once you become aware of the thoughts that trigger emotional reactions, you can work to replace them with more balanced, rational, or positive thoughts, which in turn can help regulate your emotional response. Another key element of consciously choosing your response is learning to embrace uncertainty and imperfection. One of the reasons people feel lost or out of control is because they desire certainty and predictability in life. The reality, however, is that life is inherently uncertain and things don't always go as planned. Rather than resisting this uncertainty or trying to control every aspect of life, it's important to accept that not everything can be predicted or controlled. This acceptance allows you to approach life with a sense of flexibility and adaptability. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and focus on how you can respond to the situation, you regain a sense of empowerment and control over your own experience. Embracing uncertainty also means letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism is a trap that can keep you stuck in an endless loop of striving without ever feeling satisfied. By learning to accept imperfection, you free yourself from the anxiety and pressure that often accompany the desire for everything to be perfect. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up on your goals or standards. Rather, it means being compassionate with yourself when things don't go as planned. It allows you to move forward with resilience, knowing that mistakes and setbacks are a natural part of the learning process. Another key part of choosing your response is focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Often we get caught up in trying to control external circumstances or the behavior of others, but this is a losing battle. The only thing we can truly control is how we respond to these external factors. By shifting your focus to your own actions, choices, and attitudes, you empower yourself to take control of your life. For instance, if you're facing a difficult situation at work, you may not be able to change your boss's behavior or the company's policies, but you can control how you approach the situation. By focusing on your own response and taking proactive steps, you regain a sense of agency and control over your circumstances. This focus on what you can control also means letting go of unnecessary stress and worry about the future. It's easy to become anxious about what might happen next or to dwell on past mistakes, but this only drains your mental energy and distracts you from the present moment. Instead, try to stay focused on what you can do today. By taking small, intentional steps in the direction of your goals, you're actively shaping your future without getting overwhelmed by the uncertainty of what lies ahead. This approach fosters a sense of peace and confidence as you realize that the future is not something to be feared, but something you can influence through your choices in the present. Choosing your response means taking responsibility for your life and your actions. It's easy to fall into a victim mentality and blame external factors for your struggles. However, this mindset disempowers you and prevents you from taking control of your own experience. By taking responsibility, you acknowledge that while you may not always have control over external events, you always have control over how you respond. This sense of ownership is liberating. It shifts you from a position of helplessness to one of empowerment, allowing you to take proactive steps toward creating the life you want. In conclusion, the ability to choose your response is one of the most empowering tools you can use to regain control over your mind and your life. By recognizing that you have the power to shape your own reactions, you free yourself from the grip of automatic negative thought patterns and emotional responses. Whether you're embracing uncertainty, practicing emotional regulation, or focusing on what you can control, each choice you make builds the foundation for a stronger, more resilient mindset. This conscious decision-making process empowers you to navigate life with purpose, clarity, and control, helping you achieve greater peace and fulfillment